Hey gang, Comic Book Man here along with...
The world-famous good old JR.
You betcha. And we're here today to talk about the Watchmen film. Now, we both saw the Watchmen about a week ago, our time, at a special sneak preview showing.
Because we're big shots.
The biggest. And we both loved the film. We thought it was really good. But since we saw it, there's been a lot of people coming out hammering the film for a variety of reasons. Everything from stupid stuff, like Wolverine's not in it, it's not like the X-Men, to it being too violent. And we've also heard people complaining that it was either too much like the comic or not enough like the comic book.
And I don't understand the complaint of it's too much like the comic. It's slavish to the comic. Well, comic book fans, this is the movie that you wanted to see. It's not compromised in any way. It's not made into an action film. It's Alan Moore's Watchmen. And the other complaint is it's either too violent or it's not violent enough.
People are complaining a lot about it being too violent. And what I don't understand is if you read the original Watchmen trade, which this is slavishly based off of, it's pretty violent. And there's a fair amount of sexuality in it too, which also a lot of people are complaining about. If anything, Zack Snyder, the director, all he did was take what was in this, which was originally done in the mid to late 80s, ramped it up a little bit just to bring it up to speed with what's happened since then as far as what people can take and what people expect in a movie. And that's what you have. I didn't think it was any more violent or any more sexual than what was in the original comic.
No, it's been ramped up a little bit from the original comic. I mean, Zack Snyder, the director, talked about the scene where Rorschach kills the child killer. In the book, in Moore's book, he sets him on fire.
Yeah, he ties him up and sets him on fire.
In the movie, it's a little more intense than that. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but it's a little more intense than that. So it's been ramped up, but at the same time, it's all necessary. Bottom line, I think the movie pretty much takes Moore's book and does a nice literal translation, but even better, it distills it down. It's hard to do 12 issues into one movie. This distills it down pretty well.
It does a much better job of that than I would have thought possible in a 3-hour time frame. I've always said that I always thought the best format for this would be a television miniseries. But who would have the cojones to do that?
HBO.
HBO. Yeah, HBO. HBO would probably be it, but Sci-Fi Channel would never touch it. The only thing they ever do is stuff like Mosquito and Atomic Twister.
Exactly. Watchmen would do everything, I'm sorry, Sci-Fi Channel would do everything we feared this movie was going to be, and that would be to strip it down and just turn it into another superhero film.
Yeah.
This isn't that. It's much better than that. It has loftier aspirations than that, and I think anyone who's familiar with the graphic novel I think they're going to love it. Anyone who's not familiar with the graphic novel, you might be a little lost. It's pretty dense.
Yeah, it's pretty dense, but I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, this is the finest superhero adaptation from comic to movies that I've ever seen.
I agree.
Now, 300 and Sin City, notwithstanding, because those aren't superhero films, 300 is a historical film, very stylized by, again, Zack Snyder. And Sin City was also a crime story. Neither one of those were superhero films. This is superheroes, and it's the finest translation onto the silver screen that I've ever seen.
Exactly. Dialogue is almost verbatim in several scenes.
Which is a little bit of a problem in a couple of spots, but I mean, otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, the dialogue tends to be a little bit stodgy here and there, but that's a minor complaint with the movie. And I don't know if you had the same reaction I did while I was watching it. I was thinking, I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I haven't seen it again yet, but I'm intending on going back and seeing it.
Neither have I, and it's one you want to see in a theater too, I think, because every corner of the screen has something going on in it, and it's visually very, very interesting. It doesn't quite follow Dave Gibbons' art style exactly, but there are scenes in this that are pulled scene for scene, panel for panel, right out of the book.
Well, like you said, considering how slavishly it is an adaptation of this source material, I don't think you can quibble too much with it not looking exactly like what Dave Gibbons did.
No, nobody should complain about this being too slavish.
Yeah. So, if you haven't seen Watchmen yet, go out and see it. Okay, and if you're still not sure about it, go to YouTube. The opening credits are on YouTube, and they're also on Facebook on some people's pages like mine. Okay, and take a look at that. And if that doesn't get you into the theater, nothing will. It's the best opening credit sequence I've seen for a comic book movie, going back to the first Spider-Man and then going back to Superman, the first movie.
Farther than that, I think it's one of the best opening credit sequences of any movie I've ever seen.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, this is Comic Book Man.
And good old JR.
Go see Watchmen.
Thumbs up, and come back in a few weeks. We're going to talk more about all the stuff that's really not important, but you love. So come back.
Free comic book day.
And free comic book day. So come back, because if you don't, we're going to come looking for you bums.
I'm not.
Oh, I will. I'll come looking for you. I'm a stalker that way.
Got more time on his hands.